Welcome to Charts Today. My name is David Linton, and today's edition for Wednesday, the 3rd of February, comes to you from London. And a bit of a mixed picture on the screen, mostly green. So we are seeing markets still edging higher. The dollar still continues its short-term run. Remembering this is my weekly, my daily, and my 60-minute chart. I'm running on lots of different data services, but for this I'm using mostly Refinitiv Icon. If you're a private user, Metastock Zenith will give you much the same data. So really powerful to be able to just piggyback on top of those data sets. We run on dozens of different data services, so the key thing is we bring that extra level of analysis. This is my weekly, my daily, and my 60-minute chart, long, medium, and short-term view of the market with the corresponding point and figure targets, which are unique to Updata and gives us a really powerful view of where things are going. So the dollar we see has a long-term downside target because we have been in this long-term downtrend, but short-term we are turning a corner, so we do have a short-term upside target. So for the moment we're bullish in the short term, bearish in the long term, and we're seeing that medium-term picture turning around. So that's what's happening with the dollar. Conversely, if we look at euro dollar, it's looking very strong. We've had this big move on the weekly chart, sideways consolidation move, but we're seeing here a big down week on the candle this week, and we're seeing that showing through on the daily chart falling away, and the short-term 60-minute falling away, and we've got a downside target some 4% lower. So dollar strength is very much the key at the moment. If we look at sterling against the dollar, we're sitting at 136.59. We have fallen away a bit here. We were looking stronger, of course. That shows that bullish trend with the dollar, sterling making multi-year highs against the dollar, taking us back to really Brexit levels. But well, when the vote happened, that we see here, the trend is very much intact, although the short-term trend does look a bit bearish. We do have upside targets to 139, two upside targets to 139, which is very high probability that sterling will get there. Looking at against the euro, we're at 113.52, so we're holding on to the gains there. Again, multi-month highs against the euro, and we've got targets to as high as 116, 117, another 3% higher. So sterling looking strong. Taking a look at Bitcoin, we're sitting at $35,900, very much stuck at this level. If we make new highs, we undo these downside targets to around $24,000. So that's something to watch. And if we take a look at the S&P 500 index, we see here we're at 1.4% last night. So that has taken us back above the cloud on the short-term chart. So that's a big relief, and that's that we saw the pattern here of a high, a lower, a low, a lower high, and a lower low, but we're now starting to open out. So this is making the uncertainty of what's going on a little bit greater. We do have this downside target still. If we can move to new highs, of course, we deactivate that, and we've got still solid upside targets. Looking at the Nasdaq, much the same picture, of course. Had very strong results last night from Amazon, so we'll take a look at that in a minute. And looking at the Dow, we're up 0.7%. Dow looking stronger, breaking to new highs with a rotation into defensive stocks, so that's quite key. The futures market this morning, we're seeing the S&P future up 0.3%, and the Nasdaq E-mini tech up 0.65%, so 2/3% increase there. That's really highlighting the fact that we're seeing some very strong results coming through from these tech companies. Looking at the VIX volatility, we're down a further 3% into the low 20s. We've really pulled back from that fear that we saw a week ago. So that's the key. We've now got downside targets on the VIX. If we move to a level below this level, we remove the upside target. So still a lot of uncertainty, but the fear index has settled right down, so that short term is good for the markets. The FTSE future is flat this morning. The DAX in Germany is up just over 1/3%, again breaking to test those highs again. Not quite, look on the daily chart, not quite getting there. We've got good upside targets for the DAX, so some 35, 39% higher, one here 40% higher. Multiple targets increases the validity of that target zone. The CAC 40 in France, we're seeing sideways here. It's up just 0.13% this morning, so not as strong, and still a long way from making a new high on the chart, so that's quite key as well. In Japan, we're at 1.3%. The weaker yen, stronger dollar helping there, and we're just pushing higher. The Hang Seng was up 0.2%. It's just getting back to heading into bullish zone on the short-term chart, and China was actually down 0.5%, so just not holding those gains as well. The Sensex has had an incredible week, and we see that in the weekly candle showing up there, and we're pushing to make new highs again, so that's a really strong looking market. I mean, one target here 78% higher for the Sensex, so looking very bullish indeed. The Aussie market up just under 1%, so it's recovering to January highs, so that's looking strong as well. And if we take a look at some of the commodities, we've got gold up 18.36 is the level on gold, so we're up slightly. We're actually down now slightly today. We are seeing short-term bearishness just creeping in there, just trying to make this transition. The long-term chart looking very bullish. We tend to get these patterns in gold, move up sideways, a move up sideways. So it's really waiting to see if this long-term trend can dominate and we get back to bullish levels. Silver is actually up 0.5%. It's had quite a week, been in the news, of course, with the Reddit brigade. It is just looking a little bit bearish on that short-term chart. Copper is still looking pretty strong, holding its levels, and US 10-year yield sitting at 1.11%. So again, this trend continues. We did pull back to 1%, but we are back at 1.11. We've been as high as 1.2. Does look like we might be seeing a long-term trend change there, and that will be key. Taking a look at Amazon, it was in the news last night. Bezos moving to executive chairman from CEO, so that's having an impact. Not much movement in the pre-market, but we are seeing potential for Amazon to really break out, and this is quite key. This sideways move into the pattern, sideways, move out, and we're seeing much the same picture here. So looking very strong indeed. So we shouldn't be surprised to see Amazon run again. It's gone from $1,600 to $3,500 at one point. We're at $3,380 at the moment. Hard to imagine that we can double again, but we've got upside targets suggesting $4,800, and we see here $4,800, $3,700. So it does look like Amazon is going to run again. That's looking pretty good, and we've got an upside target in the short term, some 13% higher. So we'll digest the results in the market today, but that is going to be a chart to watch. Taking a look at the energy mix now, crude oil broke yesterday, looking much stronger, broken out of this range, $60.20. It'll be very psychologically important if we can get above that $60 on Brent crude. WTI sitting at $55, it's broken higher as well, so that's going to be quite key. And taking a look at US nat gas, we're seeing here it's falling back from that $3 level. It did just touch that level yesterday. We are very much still in this range, and medium term we are still struggling. The big one yesterday, we just have a quick look at coal. Coal was down 1%. We are in this range, just falling a little bit lower, not looking great, but the big one was emissions. And in fact, I posted on LinkedIn that emissions look set to break out, and that's exactly what happened. They went 6% just yesterday, bang, and we're holding those levels. So the fact we're breaking higher is very bullish indeed. We've got upside targets, 12%, 36% higher. How high can emissions go? We're seeing emissions well into the 40s, 48 euros. So that will be really key to watch. Don't be surprised to see emissions having stalled, doing something similar all over again. So they ran $12, sideways move. Looks like we could run another 12 euros. MBP quiet this morning, sitting in the range. TTF front month is down 4.5%. 17 is the level here we need to watch, and for the moment we do have a downside target just to 17, so that's quite key. We are finding support at that level, and we need really a break now around 20 euros. So there's this €3 range that we need to just watch. Winter gas gives probably a little bit of a better clue, and we are just seeing a breakdown here as well on the 60-minute chart with the downside target some 6% lower. German power is down 0.1%. It's back above that €50 mark yesterday. The emissions chart having a bit of an impact there, and so we do see still this continuation pattern as well. And if we take a look at Nordic power, we're down 1.5%, so that's quite key. We're seeing quite a lot of support here on the cloud, and it's a bit of a tricky call. We've got downside targets on that short term. Those are the things to watch right now. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.